What were you actually facing? What were the charges? What's the deal?
I had I had 9 felony charges, 2 armed robberies, 2 aggravated assaults, 4 counts of possession of a firearm, on the commission of a felony, and hijacking a motor vehicle. So with all the time included, it all added up to be 2 life sentences plus 100 if I decided to take it to trial and lose, and was found guilty.
Now, I do want to break this down. What age were you when this happened?
I was 20. I was 22.
And I read that you actually spent 2 years in jail.
Yeah.
So you get arrested for this stuff, and they take you in county. Do they even offer you a bond?
No, I ain't had no bond the whole time I was there.
That's why you had to sit.
Yeah.
Okay, something like this happens. Do you already have a lawyer already? Do you get one? How does that work?
Well, you couldn't have a PD, which is a public defender. Fortunately, I hired one attorney, didn't do shit. Then I hired another one, same as that thing. And it's a money game with them. Like they play games. Like, I mean, they toy with people's life. Like, the system is no game like people think it is. Like, it's just like, oh, you know, back then even I thought, like, if you get locked up, chances are you did it. But it's not like that. It's like, it's serious. Like, it's serious. And the reason I was actually locked up was the fact that the attorney was, the judge, the victim was coming to court and testified that I didn't have anything to do with it. They weren't going to be coming to court to testify against me. So if they ain't had nobody there to come testify, they were just going to drop everything on me. Like, regardless, like, it don't matter if you did it or not. Like, and the judge was, her argument was, she was gonna make me a primary, that she felt like I knew who did it. That's why I didn't write no statement. That's why I didn't mention nothing about no involvement, because I knew I would convict myself. And she felt like she was gonna make me an example of this no snitch policy that the streets have. So she said, no, I'm not gonna give you a bond. They came up with some stupid argument about the reason I shouldn't get a bond is because I was the ringleader. And if I can cause the victim not to testify against me from behind bars, imagine what I'd do. I said all kind of stupid shit, like, but you know, so.
Now, prior to this, did you have a criminal history before?
No, I never had no criminal record. As far as being out in the streets, yeah, I was out in the streets, but I pretty much, like, I was kind of like, I ain't gonna say no Robin Hood, but I had morals. Like, I play within my zone. If you sold dope, you was a jack boy, as long as you play on that side of the playing field, anything went. So it was like, you wouldn't feel guilty about doing it to somebody who on your side of the playing ground. But because of how I was raised, I wouldn't mess with nobody that, like, you know, if they were honest, working hard people and stuff like that, I ain't mess with people like that. I just, you know.
I see.
Yeah.
So even with no criminal history, still no bond. That didn't go in your favor at all.
No, it wasn't gonna go in my favor. But because, like, at the end of the day, they didn't have nothing to, you know, hold. They didn't really have no reason why they couldn't give me a bond, and they violated. Like, I'm also in the process of trying to, like, appeal the cop out that I did do. I ended up taking a plea for so I'm still on papers right now, and it was just crazy, bro. Like, cause I'm telling you, when I say, man, the system's so screwed up, bro, it's crazy. Like, it's crazy. Like, they everything that they say, like, as far as your constitutional rights, bro, it's bull crap, bro. Cause when you in the system, and you can't. It's not one of those things where you can say, hey, Your Honor, you violated my constitutional rights, and they sit there and be like, you know what, you right. And they not hearing nothing. They know they violate your rights, and what they do, they hush you up. They don't give you an opportunity to speak. You know, the attorney will say some bull crap. Your Honor, my client would like to say no. Judge will deny you saying that, because they, you know, when you go to jail, if you really fighting for your life, like, that's where you find the best lawyers, because nobody wants to sit in jail. So you're gonna read to try to find out where they, you know what I'm saying, screwing you at. And of course, I mean, that's what I was doing. That's a system, though.
You studied your case.
Yeah, I definitely studied my case. I pulled I want to say 4, But I know for a fact three of the constitutional rights that was violated. Like, I know the grounds on which they're supposed to, like, if they're gonna hold you without a bond, I know the grounds on which, like, they're supposed to hold you without a bond. I didn't have none of that. Like, they didn't have no, there was nothing for them to hold me for nothing. They just, you know, it's just like with so many black people, the problem with a lot of us, we be so happy to get out that we don't even protest like, hey, we don't go back. We just be like, I beat it, I'm out, I'm good. Like, and it's like, bro, you're not good. Like, you might have some money waiting, it's all kind of crazy stuff that go on like that, you know.
2 years is a lot of time. I mean, to some people watching this, that's not a lot of time.
Yeah.
But to others watching this, 2 years is a lot of time to take you out of your regular day activities of what you were doing to earn money, make money, have a family, support a family, provide for a family, whatever.
Nah, it definitely, like, I used to always say stuff like, man, if you did, I felt like before I ever got locked up, I used to look at it like, man, anybody that did 5 or less, you ain't serving no time. But when you just go from doing whatever you want to do, moving however you want to move, to getting, like, the next day you just locked up and you try to figure out, all right, I'm gonna make a few moves. They wake you up 5 o'clock in the morning, give you this little nasty breakfast, like on a little tray, on a big tray with a little food in it, a little bit of food in it, and then you get locked right back down, and you come back out probably about like 8 o'clock in the morning, go back in 11:30. Like, basically I was locked down on, like, for the whole 2 years I did was considered 19 and 5. That means, like, we came out 2 hours and 30 minutes in the morning, and then 2 hours 30 minutes in the evening, and that was it. Like, you spend the rest of it, and that's if they felt like you letting you out. They'd come up with all kind of reasons why to lock you down for the whole day. You don't take no shower. They bring you the food served through the flap. Like, it was jail serious. Jail way more serious than what these dudes be thinking. Like, I done seen people get jumped into gangs, like, forced. Like, that wasn't their choice, but it was like, either you gonna roll or get rolled on, and it was just because, they were weak. They were weak. Like, you really gotta be a man, stand your ground. Like, it's serious.
What county jail was this?
DeKalb, 7th floor. Anybody know about the 7th floor, you know what go down the 7th floor.
All 2 years in the same county jail.
Same county jail, same dorm, same all that. Like the 7th floor. That way you go when you got hellacious charges. Anytime you got any of, like, they got what's called, like, the 7 deadly sins. I think it's like murder, kidnap, rape, sodomy. It's some crazy stuff. But anytime armed robbery, I don't know if I said that one, but anytime you got, like, any one of them crazy charges or something like that, you come to the 7th floor. So, when we see people make the news and they did something in DeKalb County, you already know he coming up there on the floor with you. Like, he gonna be somewhere, unless they're gonna have him in the mental psych ward or something like that. Chances are, like, he gonna be up there. Like, I ain't gonna call him out, but it's one of my partners. Like, it's so serious to where you see folks, like, and this the God and the truth, man. You see folks, like, on First 48, you be sitting right next to him, like, kicking it with them, and they case on First 48. Like, DeKalb County serious. On that 7th floor, that's where you don't want to be at. If you don't know how to be strong and be a man, you don't want to be on that 7th floor.
Now, when you enter county jail, how soon before you get this first attorney?
It depend on really how soon your family, like, it depend on how fast your family know about what's going on and how fast that they act on it and they jump on it. If you got them, you got a retainer fee, and a lot of people had to try to scrape up money to get the retainer fee and stuff like that. But it was like, my situation, it was just like, man, the hell with both of them. Like, I really want to call both of their names out, because they work with the system. Like, it's all a game. Like, you got some people who really fighting for your freedom, but then you got some people who just, they gonna collect the check. They know how easy it is. They know, like, and with my situation, it's like, come on, man, the victim testifying that he not gonna testify against me because I ain't had nothing to do with it. He ain't see me, I ain't involved with. Like, how hard is that to argue? Like, but, I actually ran into the last attorney I had for my case, and I just had some word with him, but I ain't turned nothing physical. I get it. Like, you know, like home came to court literally, said his name and sat there. Judge said what she was gonna say, and I said, bro, come on, like, can you? Didn't speak, didn't say nothing, just sat there. That was $10,000. All my folks had, cause I had to go to a PD after that. Like, and that's when I kind of realized, I'm like, oh, this is a game for them. Like, this is just easy money. Like, you're here to represent me, but you know what I'm saying? Like, you don't even feel like, it's not even in your heart that you're gonna fight for the fact that I'm innocent. Like, hey man, look. And that was for a bond here. $10,000, he didn't do nothing.
So you went through 2 paid attorneys ended up with a public defender.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which I've never heard of before. Usually people have the public defender and that's it. That's all they can get. They deal with that. I haven't heard people with a paid attorney end up going to the public defender.
I had to because we ran out of money. You know, we scraped up a little, you know, my folks scraped up a little bit of change for the first attorney. Then they had somebody who gave like a nice little lump sum for another one, and they got the rest of the change for him. He, you know, took that money and ran off. Like, he be around here in the city, riding around in it real nice, like, I want to say it's a Maybach, but I can't say that that's what it is. I don't know what it is. He be, you know, top off, I be seeing him. Yeah.
Now, how did this public defender do for you compared to these?
Horrible. It's all part of the system. Like, they all part of the system. Like, she was way worse. And I, you know, it's like, it's really an experience that I know I had to go through, because one thing my pop used to say when he come in and see me, like, he would like to be real, because, like, I got, you know, a lot of people, some people don't believe in God, some people believe in Allah, Buddha, whatever, like, you know, some people don't believe there's no God, period. Like, whatever your faith is in, I believe, like, that's just how it works. Like, you know, if you got faith in the higher power, if you got faith in yourself, whatever you got faith in, that's how it works. It's just based on how strong your faith is. And what was crazy is my pop was like explaining to me, like, bro, you gotta look at it like this your faith being tested, like, because if you say you believe in God, like, he taking away the opportunity of you having attorneys. He taking away of the judge being in your favor. He taking away from everybody, anything that being in your favor, he gonna take away, because, like, when you come home, because I knew I wasn't coming home. Everybody else knew I wasn't coming home. I knew I wasn't coming home. But my pops had faith. Like, bro, I'm telling you, I know you coming home. And you gonna come home because of my faith. And once you come home because of my faith, you're gonna see, you're gonna understand what I'm telling you. Like, it's like he removing everything from out the way, so when it do manifest itself, when it do happen, you can't say it's nobody else but him. And it's gonna make your faith that much stronger. So when you get out and you believe and you know that he done really pulled you through this situation, you ain't gonna have no choice but to go hard for what you want. And when you going hard for what you want, people gonna look at you the same way you looking at me and believing what I'm telling you right now. They gonna look at you and watch how you work, watch how you come up. And then that's gonna make their faith become that much more stronger. So, you know, it wasn't until that happened the way it panned out, like he said, that I really was just like, oh, okay. So like now it's just like, it helped me with the music scene, because it's like, can't nobody tell me ain't nothing. Like, if I believe it's gonna happen, it's just gonna happen. And it ain't for me to worry about how it's gonna happen. I done already been through the worst, like, you know, so it's like, it's just gonna happen.
I do want to get to the music. We'll talk about the music and how that was interwoven with this in a little bit. But they do offer you a plea deal.
They didn't at first. And since you said that, because I know I got a little sidetracked, getting back to that crooked PD, it was crazy. When she came, she like sat down, and it was crazy because I didn't write no statement. They ain't had no story. They didn't have nothing to write off about, like, so, and she just came to me like, listen, I know that you're saying you don't know this, you don't know that, blase. Just give me a story. We can't go into court with nothing to tell these people. Like, we gotta have a story. Now I'm gonna tell you what the story is, which I already knew. I already had my discovery packet, so that's where they give you the like statements and the narrative of what happened. I'm like, I don't need to read all that. I know about what happened, what they saying happened. And she's like, all right, well, we need to come up with some kind of story. I'm like, lady, I don't have no story to tell. What you want me to give you? Like, I'm gonna make up a story. That's like you asked me, you know, that's how I'm talking to her. And, you know, that's like you asked me to tell you something. I can't tell you about something I don't know of. And she was like, this ain't gonna work. You gotta give me something. And while she was talking, like she was just doing like this. And so I said, cluck, cluck. So I looked and I couldn't see because it's like this little silver thing. So I stood up and looked over. Man, this lady had a tape recorder sitting right there, like basically trying to get me to like, not say tell on myself, but she wanted me to like tell some kind of, it was crazy, bro. And it was supposed to be my public defender. I ain't say nothing. I looked at her. I got up and walked out. Like I ain't say nothing. So like, I ain't gonna lie, that like tore me, cause I was like, man, I don't know what I'm about to do. Like I'm about to go to trial. They ain't offer me no plea deal because they were saying that they was gonna either give me a bond if I came up with a statement, or they can offer me a plea deal if I gave them something to work with, because they didn't have no kind of story to work with. They knew the initial story about what happened, and then they knew the victim went back and reneged on that, and they knew I didn't have no statement. So it was like they ain't had nothing to work with. So, you know, it was really one of those situations where I really was like, man, I could really weigh this out and just, you know, we take it to trial, but at the same time, you don't want to play with your life like that, because it really ain't one of those no faces, no case, or no show, you going to beat the case. That's not how it works like people be thinking it works. It's really a situation where it's about the DA convincing the jury. As long as they convince the jury, you can go to trial right now. Don't even know what you're sitting on the stand for. And they sit here and say, this man right here, you know, did blase, blase. If the jury convinced by that, man, them folks will find you guilty and railroad. So I just knew, I was like, man, I knew they wasn't trying to offer me no plea, because it was just like, you ain't trying to offer us nothing to work with, we ain't gonna offer you nothing to work with. So I really sat there, and the only plea that I got like right before my trial, and it was crazy because it was like, they sent me downstairs like, man, these folks so crooked to where like my folks, they had got me a suit something so I can look presentable while I'm going to trial. And then the first time, like, that saying, like, so scared you got a shit, that's the first time, like, man, I'm talking about, like, my stomach dropped out of me. Like, I was like, man, I couldn't breathe for a second. You know, it started out, we all in court, about 30 of us, just talking to everybody. I'm sitting here all day. And it come to 2 of us. She was like, all right, cool. So I guess we going, which one of them you want to start the trial count? Like, we're going to start trial. I'm like, trial? Ain't nobody brought it up to me like I'm going to trial or nothing. And I went. They wouldn't give me the suit that my folks bought me. They done got me, gave me some old clothes they had. Like, man, I'm coming in court looking crazy. And I'm just sitting here, like, all of it really started flashing in my head. Like, bro, I just really just threw my life away. Like, I ain't had no kids. I ain't got married. I ain't did nothing. Like, I just been out here in these streets, like, you know what I'm saying? For like, I just threw my life away to the streets for nothing. Like, that's all I was thinking. I'm like, bro, like, I'm about to spend the rest of my life with a bunch of niggas. Like I ain't finna live life. Like, I'm 22 and my life gone. That's what everything was going through my head. And I'm like, bro, I really just, it's over with. And I'm like, all this gangster stuff and all this stuff that these niggas be talking about in this song, why? That's how I'm feeling. So anyway, I get, they done dress me out and everything. I'm going back in the courtroom, and I see one of the, one of the officers or sheriffs or whatever. She started laughing, but she was like crying and laughing. I'm like, dang, so these folks get ready to throw my life away. You think that's funny, don't you? She said, no, listen, baby, listen. She said, I've been following you. I've been following your story and stuff like that. Listen, I listened to them. They're going to offer you one plea. The judge don't want to do it. Take the plea. So I'm thinking they get ready to call me some crazy numbers. But what they came at me was, like a long ass probation time, and like, but it was time served. And I was like, man, I was thinking to myself like, nah, cause if they can do this, they can come down lower than that. Man, they wasn't coming off of nothing. Like, so when I got before the judge, I was like, yeah, you know, Your Honor, I just want to know. She said, listen, I'm telling you right now, I don't want to offer you no plea deal. You not trying to cooperate. You not helping nobody. Like, you making lives worse out here and stuff like that. You think I want to offer you a plea deal? No, I really want to go ahead and get this trial started. So I was like, man, I'm not even finna play with these folks. I went on ahead, I caught out with a plea and just was like, yo, I just fight it from the street. But right now, the music just been kind of like, you know, I've been so focused. I'm running my bread on just, you know, give me an attorney. We're gonna get that thing appealed on. I'll be straight. I'll be back, scrap. No, I'm just kidding. No, I'm just talking.
Now, after you accept the plea, what happens after that? Do they get you out of jail that same day, the next day?
They got they got me out that same day, but it was crazy because it just seemed like it was so long, like, cause you know, with all the time that as long as I've been locked up, like, you know, one thing I can say I was blessed because like everybody in there rocked with me, like I was real. I wasn't trying to be on I wasn't no macho man. I wasn't with all that capping and stuff like that. I was just solid, just real, like. You know, if it came down and I had a hit with somebody, you know I was gonna stand my ground. I was gonna be a man. I wasn't running behind all that gang shit they got going on. I wasn't doing none of that. Like, you know, I kick it with you. You know, we talk. I pray with you, stuff like that. But besides that, I wasn't with all that. So it was like when I got back to the door, it was just crazy, like the love that they show. Cause you hear folk going home, they don't be caring, or they might be like, damn, that's supposed to be me, or it's all kind of crazy stuff, but it was like, man, when I found out, I realized, like, and I had to sign off on that paper saying I was about to go home, I just kept looking at it because I said, man, I'm tripping. Like, I just couldn't believe it was like, I'm about to walk out. I ain't seen daylight in 2 weeks. Like, I was pale. Like, right, you can see, like, all the veins in my face, all in my, I was pale. I ain't had no kind of pigment whatsoever. And so, like, I ain't seen no sun. Just been, like, in a box, way smaller than this for like 2 years. So, like, when I got back to the cell, I didn't really want to say nothing. Even though I knew people rock with me, I was just like, I just wanted to go ahead and just leave and slide. But when I was talking to one of my partners, he was just like, it was crazy. He was like, bro, what are they talking about? And I was like, bro, I'm going home. Man, home went crazy. Like, he went crazy like he was going home. And when he went crazy, like, everybody else started looking and stuff. And he, boy, you're out of here. You're out of here. Everybody went crazy. Like, everybody went, and I was like, bro, like, it's crazy because I'm locked up in the one place you locked up, you don't never expect to get no love from nobody unless you ganged up with people. And I ain't in no gang. Like, I ain't in no gang, but I just stayed solid. I just rocked and kept it 100. It was like, when everybody found out I was going home, like, it wasn't no, everybody just like, well, when you get out, but you gotta turn up, but you got it, but I'm trying to see you on TV, like, you know, it's crazy, and then it's happening.
Now, you mentioned towards the beginning of this segment that there's some people that are forced to join a gang because you said they were weak.
Yeah.
How were you able to make it, not being a part of a gang, not having to join a gang, but able to make it without being forced to be part of a gang, like the description you painted earlier in this interview?
Because, like, it's all about how you move. Like, the problem with, when you running around, you trying to call it, like, give yourself a name, or like, especially like a lot of cats don't even know, like, they might get themselves a name that's like a gang name. Like, it's like, bro, I'm not calling you that name. Like, how you calling yourself that? So when your word get back around, like, oh, that's your nickname, nigga gonna come and they G check you, like, who gave you that name? Like, and it's like, oh, no, this and the other. You got some nigga, oh, I'm this, I'm that, or I hang with these. It's just like, it's a bad thing. But I never did it. Like, you know, on the streets, like, people already, they know I hung with a lot of GDs. I hung with, like, a lot of Crips. I know a lot of Bloods. Like, it's like, but not running around, like, claiming none of that. Like, you know, I'm a man before anything, but I'm gonna always stand my ground. Like, win or lose, you know, my pops even told me that, like, man, listen, bro, nigga punch you in your face, you ain't finna die. You better stand back there. So it was like, you know, even when it came down to it, it was time where I had to fight, like, but it's like, I'm not running from nothing. Like, I'm not running from nothing. Like, you know, you gonna beat my ass, but I'm not running from nothing. Like, and so it's like, when people see that and they respect you, like, they know it's like, it don't take, like, you know, and it been a couple times where, like, they might tell, like, I know some nigga gonna try to gang up, and I'm like, well, come on, like, you know, it is what it is. When one nigga don't come, then the rest of them just fall back, like, okay. And, like, you know, and they come back, like, when they see you a cool person, they come back because they'll do that. And it ain't, I won't say that they scary or they hold, but it with respect. Like, it's like, hey, bro, you know, you weren't scared, you stood your ground, like, you know, you weren't going out like no hoe. I respect that. We respect each other. Neither we be cool, or either we just, you know, he go his way and I go my way. But, you know, it's just about being a man at the end of the day and not trying to be something you're not. And I never try to be nothing I'm not. Like, you can't never say, oh, I got Euro confused. Nah, no, you didn't. Like, you can't. Like, you might see me with some Crips, you might see me with some GD, but you ain't about to say I'm part of nothing because I'm my own man. Like, I always been my own man. So it's like, it's about just like just being like knowing who you are and being able to take that stand and understand, like, you know, stuff happen in life, but you gonna be prepared for it. I was always prepared. I knew when I got out in the streets, I knew it was an opportunity. Like, I can get locked up, I can get robbed, I can die. Am I gonna be prepared for them opportunities? And it's like, if you gonna make that decision, like, then you gotta be prepared for it. I was prepared for it. So that's why when I got locked up, I had already had in my mind, I knew if this day was coming, I'm not gonna tell them. Like, I'm not gonna tell nobody. I'm not gonna sit here, and I didn't. Like, I was prepared for it.
How many times did you have to fight?
I probably got like maybe five, 6, something like that. It wasn't really like no crazy stuff. Just like, you know, one was just like, one with let me see, one was low key. It was my fault, but it wasn't. It was like bro was really egging me on. So like I took like we were hooping, and you know I had been working out and stuff like that. So I took like a little slick like elbow shot, cause he kept like pushing me off like that. So I took a slick elbow shot but missed. But I didn't know he knew that what I did. So you know I kept moving. Home caught me from behind. Boom. So when he hit me, I turned around, we squared, and that was like one time. And another time, it's just like, I knew it was a jealous thing because nigga kept trying to push me like to the edge. So I said, bro, like, what's up? Like, you be talking like you want to smoke. And like, when you in jail, like a lot of niggas, they be straight up, like they'll just tell you, look, I got a problem, like I just want to hit. Like, I got somebody I want to get out my chair, we gonna hit. And like, cool, say less. So it's like, you know, like everybody knew me as the cool dude. So this one happened before the one I just told you about, but it was like nigga kind of, I guess nigga thought like, oh, he too cool, he gonna try to talk it out. Nah, I wasn't talking nothing out. Like, when them doors popped, like, and it was time to come out, man, come on, like, I threw my shit over the door first, like, yeah, come on. And they were, oh, home, he ain't playing, like, he initiated, come on in. And he come in, because the fighting in the room, it's like, fighting in the room the worst, because you don't never know what's gonna happen, and there ain't nobody in there to break it up, and there's everything in there metal, so it's like, you can bust your head, man can stomp you to death, like, it is what it is, but it's like, hey, man, like, I'm not fighting in front of no guard, ain't nobody gonna break nothing up, you know, so come on, threw the shit over the door, he come in there, slam the door, and we take off, like, and then after that, it was like, oh, yeah, bro, go, he ain't playing with nobody, like, so it was like, you know, but it wasn't never like, I'm gonna put it like this, it wasn't no I'm hard type thing. It just, I demand my respect because I respect every other man as he is. Like, you know, I respect the man as a human being. So it's like, that mainly why I didn't really get bothered. I respect other people like they respect me. Like, I ain't never had nothing taken, stolen, nothing like that. Like, yeah, so.
Were you ever worried about catching another charge from one of these fights with what you already had going on already?
Done, because at that time I already kind of knew what it was. Like, it didn't matter. I wasn't going to come home if I, like, what you going to do? Give me a couple extra months until a life sentence? Like, so.
Now, you have a face tattoo.
Yeah.
Did you have that while you were locked up?
No, I got that after.
Okay. Let's talk about music.
Okay.
You were already doing music before this whole 2-year stint happened?
Mm-hmm.
What age did that start for you?
It started by like 18. I'm from Atlanta, and I did end up going to college. I ended up getting kicked out. I went to Morehouse. I am intelligent and articulate. It's just, you know, I wasn't always around the right crowd. And then, like, my problem was, like, me trying to do the right thing and seeing people reaping bigger benefits from being in the street and knowing, like, I got ties to them. It kind of, like, you know, it's kind of almost like, let me step over there and see what you talking about right quick. And then next thing you know, you, like, neck deep and, like, I don't even know how I got out here, but I'm here. So it was just like, might well play the game. And that's pretty much like, you know, how that whole thing started.
While you were locked up for these 2 years, did you work on music at all?
Yeah. They called me radio. Cause like I had started like, you know, at 18, like I said, at 18, I was just, that when I really was just like, you know what, I gotta focus on me. Like, I don't even wanna be here. I don't like these people like, wasn't nobody being themselves. And that was the problem. I just felt like I had to realize like I was really trying to live, like I had a hard time like making my mom proud. So I went through a lot of stuff. Even in that, I feel like that's crazy how I became like as smart as I did, because it was like I felt like she was never satisfied with me. Like I could never do nothing to make her proud. So it was like I felt like I had to do good in school. Like I had to, because I just wanted her to be proud of me. So that was the same reason I went to Morehouse. I didn't want to go there, and you know, but I wanted her to be proud. So I thought, I was like, you know what? I just kind of tried to psych myself out. Like that's what I'm gonna do. Didn't work. So I talked to one of my partners. He said, look, bro, you need to you just gotta do what you want to do, bro. Like as long as you're successful with what it is you want to do in life, like your folks not going, ain't nobody gonna be tripping about what you like. You and after that, when he told me that, it was like, but like it just clicked. Like I didn't care nothing about school no more. I started focusing on music, but I didn't know the correct way. I was recording. Like I was spending so much money in the studio, like, cause I had started working a little job, but my whole check was going to the studio. And then, bro, like it was just like after like 3-4 months, bro, was like, bro, look, I don't even want you to pay me no more. Like you serious, you know? And I see something in you. I believe you can make it for real. I just want your dedication, bro. I'm like, just stay down. And it was like, you know, but I couldn't. I wouldn't stay away from the streets. So it was like I ended up getting locked up, and that was the only way that I really like writing and stuff like that. But that was the only thing that helped me keep my mind outside of like dreaming and stuff like that. That's the only thing that really like kept my mind off of like the fact that I might not come home. Like I was just like, I was like devastated. So I wrote on like everything, like, and so I think I forgot how I started. I started letting everybody hear my stuff some way, and then one night I just came to the flap, and everybody just was like, "Why that hard? Why that hard?" One song turned to another, and then like it was almost like every night. They're like, "Hey, boy, come on, bring the radio on. Give me such and such. Give me such and such." I started rapping different songs, and it was crazy because like it was, you know, we in the dorm, people walking around like it's the radio, like they ain't never heard no beat or nothing. Everything just acapella, like they just, you know. And then it was one time the guard asked me to spit songs, and it was just like when folks started rocking with me while I was locked, I was like, oh yeah, I got something. Like I know I'm on to something. I just didn't know I would come home.
Were you freestyling or battle rapping others while you were locked up?
I ain't do none of that. I pretty much like just tried to paint pictures with words for real. Like I try to give people like, I try to get inside people's mind, put them on the outside of our situation and make them feel good for one, or even like just touch people in ways that's like, wow, I felt that, you know, like that. So I was more so like with the realism of music.
Did you use any of these lyrics after you came home?
A few of them I did. In fact, one of them is actually on my tape right now, and it's not so much the words that's on there. I remember most of the hook. But I remember what's crazy is the only way I really remember most of it is because like when I still talk to my partner, like some of my partners came home, some of my partners they in prison, but we still talk about the music. And they still, boy, you remember such and such? And I had one of them that was like a freestyle that went on for like 5-6 minutes. And it was crazy because like it had brought tears in my eye because when my boy Corn came home, we were talking about it and I couldn't remember for the life of me. He was like, but that thing was too hard. He texted me the whole thing that I rapped. Like when I came home, I feel like part of my karma was I was still like reaping the seeds I done sowed from before I was locked up. So I had my car broken into like 2 times in a month. The first time they took my laptop, and then the second time I had went to, I had bought some clothes from Neiman's and stuff like that. Unfortunately, I took the clothes out the bag, but I had my discovery packet, and like I wrote about like this much of music while I was locked up, and I had it in the Neiman's bag. And so it was like they snatched everything. Like they took that bag, they took the speakers out of the trunk, some J's, some other stuff, and so it was like they took my last laptop. I ain't had, like, after that, it was like I really had to start from scratch. Like, I ain't had nothing. I couldn't really remember that. But then part of them bringing it back, like, asking me about certain songs, that's when I just started like, oh, I do got that song, So, yeah.
Have you made a song talking about this situation? Do you mention this situation?
Yeah, in the latter, like, when I'm speaking, speaking of real on songs and stuff like that, I mentioned a lot of, like, I mentioned it enough to where I be wondering, I'd be like, yo, I wonder if I over talk about this. But it'd be like, it'd be so real that it's just like, I gotta give people what I know they can relate to and what they can feel. And if I've been through something in life, like, half of these people out here that talk about stuff ain't experienced the stuff they talked about. So for me, it's like, it's a real triumph type testimony, like I overcame, like I beat the odds. So I'm gonna keep talking about it.
What's the name of that song that you referenced a second ago where you remembered some of those lyrics and you said it's on your tape? What's the name of that song so people can listen to it if they want to hear it?
The one that's on my tape is called Love on the Moon. And that's it's a song that's pretty much one of the only female, but it's like a female type song that's on my tape. But it's definitely like a fan favorite.
What's the name of the tape?
Foreign. It's pronounced foreign, but it's spelled with the number 4, the letter N.
Aside from trying to use some of the music that you had wrote when you were locked up, just coming out, being home, making music, has this whole situation changed the direction of music or how you rap?
Yeah, definitely.
In what ways?
Definitely. Like, because before, it's like, I learned how to evolve with time and put my own season and own sauce on it. And then, too, from like the people that I had featured on my tape, it's like watching people who kind of like, they weren't at the peak of they were on the rise, but watching them and not so much like mimicking their styles, but it's almost like, it's like watching like Durant, like how he play, and you don't mimic how he play, you just mimic the different you see the different strategies, like, so it's like the way in which I rap now, it was like, like when Gunna got on my song, I almost had a little, I'm like, man, these folks trying to be funny, cause he get on there, mind you, I was used to writing, so I thinking that, but what he was doing, I'm like, I get it, like he find a certain sound and he bounce and ride on the beat, and then he come behind that same style and he put words to it. Whereas for me, I kind of evolved from that to where I didn't just start making a certain sound. I hear the beat and come right in with just words, like just I ride a certain style and just, so it's like it definitely helped me, because more than anything, I evolved from my situation and from the way I used to do things.
When you did get out, what was the absolute first thing you did on your day out? 2 years after being locked up.
I went, like, my pops was out there, like, to pick me up, like, because I ain't tell nobody else I was getting out. So nobody knew when I was getting out, but I went to Waffle House, got me a waffle and, like, orange juice, because I ain't had no orange juice so long. Like, I think what I did, too, I started praying. I just couldn't believe it. Like, I don't know, I couldn't believe it for real. So I started praying, like, it was just crazy, because I think it was kind of cold. It was getting cold, but it wasn't all the way cold. It was like jacket cold. And it was just crazy, because I'm like, dang, I had to put on the same clothes I got locked up in from 2 years ago, like from 2012, and it's 2014, like, and I got on these clothes, like, I'm just like the air hit my face, and it was like, But it was just crazy. I was just like, boy, I ain't like, I almost couldn't remember it. Like, it just like every day since then, like I never took it for granted. Like even when when the wind blow now, I just don't take it for granted. Cause like people don't know how I feel like to like not have like fresh air hit your face. We just so used to it. Like we used to waking up, but it's like when you don't see it, like I'm telling you, when I say I didn't see the sun until like it was setting. I couldn't see the sun when it was in the peak, at its peak. I just knew it was shining outside, but I couldn't see nothing. Like it was just, I just knew it though. So like now it was like, I don't know. When I got out, I was just like, man, it was just, yeah. I had to go to Waffle. I got that orange juice and that waffle.
Were you able to keep it in your stomach, or because you didn't have that type of food?
Man, what?
Did you?
Yeah.
Did it come out?
Yeah. I really was still hungry, but I couldn't wait to go see my mom. My mom was staying like, my mom probably stayed about like an hour away, but we made that trip to go see her for the night. So it was like, I was thankful for that.
How soon before you had sex for the first time?
That, you know what, that's crazy that you asked that, because to be real, I be telling people now, like, that's probably another reason why I'm thankful, like, that I had that jail experience, because, like, with all my charge, like, see, you got some people who really don't care. Well, I'm just keeping it 1K. Niggas be in there, they go jack crazy, like, they just, you know, they get a fifi or they jack, they whatever. But like when you looking at life, bro, like I ain't gonna lie. Every day I woke up like, God damn, like it's over with. So I ain't had no times where I was really just like, I ain't had no, cause it wasn't nothing to be excited about. It wasn't nothing to be happy about. Like I was thankful but depressed, cause I still didn't know the outcome of my situation. So I never really had no moment where I was just in there like, man, like I'm living on. Like it was depressing. I just work out, try to keep my mind from going crazy. So it was like, what was with all that time, like within 2 years, like my body had developed to where it was just like even now, bro, I don't be needing them. Like I don't, man, like I be so stiff, like it just be like, cause I'm not pressed. My body used to like, I done went 2 years without a female, so I don't feel like, I think it's like a mental thing when you get out, like, man, I gotta catch up. Like, no, you don't. Like, you don't. So I don't know. I probably went, it was messed up though. I think I probably went it was probably like almost a week. And what was messed up though, like I ain't gonna count, cause I had a girl at that time and it wasn't her that I had smashed. But that was cause she went here, so.
She wasn't there, meaning what?
Like she was working. She was like in New York, like she had like she worked for like some Fortune 500 company, so it was like, and she could not afford, my bad. Her position was, so she had a high position, so she couldn't just take off to come down there. So kind of like, it kind of messed up. Somebody beat her to the punch.
How long did that relationship with that girl at the time that you had a relationship with last for? Not the one you had sex with, but the Fortune 500.
She I ain't gonna count. I think we just ended like 2 months ago. I think it was like 2 months ago. Like, we had a good little run, like about 13 years, something like that. But we still, like, we cordial. We real cool. It ain't no I hate you type situation. Like, we still cordial. Like, we ain't talking about, like, getting back together and stuff like that. But we cordial, like, we good friends, stuff like that,
Did she ever find out?
Probably until when she see this, yeah, she probably found out then. But I've been like, I ain't saying I've been about, I ain't trying to really just get myself in trouble like that. But I done had my slip ups. And like, the pros to that was she stood by my side, like even when I did, like, I slipped up. But
13 years is quite a long time. Could this ever be fixed? A relationship
I think it is
between you
fixed. It's fixed because it's just like, like after like we spoke about it, it was just one of those situations where like just because you care about somebody, that like love shouldn't be something that's kind of forced because of a situation. Like, and it's like, I felt like for me, I was kind of looking at the situation where it was like she always been there for me, like, You know, I always been there for her, and we started out like high school sweethearts. So we need to make this work because it seemed like the perfect ending, but it don't always work out like that. And it was like, you know, once I started putting that into perspective, it was like I went to her like a man and let her know, like, you know, I told her how I felt, and like as a woman, she respected it. You know, I told her like, yo, I need my space, like this, that, and the other. She respected it. She gave me my space. Like she, you know, she better, like we still spoke, but then it was just like, you know, it eased off. So we're like, now she good. Like she, you know, she cool. She cool. I'm cool. We, you know, she check in, hey, how you doing? Doing all right? And be like, yo, I'm proud of you. Keep going up and stuff. But she'll try to come back at me like, oh no, I miss you type stuff. We good.
How soon after you were released did you hit the studio for the first time?
I want to say like the day after I got out. Day after I got out.
So you were making music before you had sex?
Yeah, yeah. It was people already waiting on me on the outside for to see what I was gonna do. So, you know, and like I said, I really wasn't tripping. Like I thought everybody would tell me like, boy, you gonna have that glow. Them girls you gonna have that fresh out glow. Boy, they gonna be on you. Boy, you gonna be hitting everything. And you know, like I ain't about to lie to my body. Like my body, like, hey, bro, like this what we want to do. Hey, man, this is what we gonna do then. But it ain't never come. I just think about the studio, and what was crazy was I had got out like in October. I got out like a little right before birthday bash, and I think that was my problem. Like everybody kept telling me they want to see me on birthday bash, and I was just so pressed to make birthday bash. Cause I was like, well, I'm about to go crazy. I'm gonna drop all these songs. I'm gonna be at birthday bash. So when I got out, I was already thinking like, boy, I gotta get the birthday bash this year. Oh man, yeah, I ain't make it either.
Did you make a first day out song?
Nah, it wasn't even no first day out song. I just actually the song wasn't even nothing that I had written while I was locked up. But it's like it didn't from where I grew from now, it didn't sound nowhere near as good as like how I record now. But it was enough to where everybody in the studio was like, people who didn't know was like, but this thing hard, like, and then when they started asking me to come back around the studio and stuff like that, so I ran into some of everybody because of that too.
But you know what I mean? Like some artists, they have a what they call a first day out song.
Yeah.
Like that's a thing some rappers make.
Yeah. But I mean, I ain't heard nobody do it until like up until recently, but that wasn't that wasn't even my focus. Like I was trying to find me a hit before birthday bash. So I wasn't even thinking about like no first day out, like